from Central Florida, it's Indie Originals Live with your hosts, Felicia and Fresh. Tonight's musical guests, a bunch of incredibly talented indie artists you may not have heard of before, but who will most likely be tomorrow's biggest stars.
What a song, right? You might have heard that on CBS with his vulnerable and honest voice. Fate Under Fire grabs your ear quickly, like it did ours with alternative pop vibes. David James created the Sacramento, California quartet from his home studio, always evolving Today, Fate Under Fire's sonic landscape is transformed from driving guitars to sweeping synths, touching leads, and big drums.
David says, when I started playing in bands as a drummer, singers always fell through and the projects would always fall apart.
Those singers.
So I became what I needed. David began singing. He played guitar and started the recording studio thing in high school. Then tragedy struck. David found out his mom had cancer. Being who she was, his mother engraved the drive to do what you love for a living into David's mind. As he took full responsibility for her health, he watched her slipping away. He dealt with the pain through his music, forming what is now Fate Under Fire. After her passing, he scanned one of her paintings for the cover of the EP, What Dreams Are Made Of, as a tribute to her.
That's nice.
You might catch Fate Under Fire talking about alternative cancer treatments and suggesting treatment options with his audience post-show.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy, man. I lost my mom the same way.
You did, I
Yeah,
know.
bizarre.
Sad.
Throughout the years, releasing 2 EPs, multiple tours, cover videos, and self-directed music videos, David has seen extensive success between winning MTVU's Freshman 5 competition, Ryan Seacrest's Best Roar cover video, and David has had his songs picked up for television, including the theme song for NBC's Today Show. That's pretty hot.
That is really cool.
He's the real deal. Whether original Fate Under Fire songs or Right for Hire songs, David has a long list of national television theme songs under his belt. So congratulations to David. So cool. Fate Under Fire. The song was On the Water, and this is IOL. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to IOL. Hello, Felicia. You're back again, too, huh?
I am back.
Did you know that Indie Originals Live is still one of the top 10 podcasts on the entire planet?
Ooh, that's awesome.
This planet.
That's cool.
Planet Earth. Believe that? So thank you to our listeners, to our followers, everybody who made that possible. I don't know how it's happening, but it rocks. It's awesome. And, man, I'll tell you what. You know how we normally have our routine on the show?
Here we go.
What I wouldn't do for some Hers barbecue chips and some 1800 tequila. Jeez.
Oh, boy.
No, I can't consume any of that this week because, well, Felicia. Long story, right? We'll fill you in a little bit later. Felicia, you had a pretty busy week, so you left me hanging.
I did.
The music choice is all mine this week, so we've got zero country.
That's okay. You did great, though.
Not that I have anything against country for various reasons that we can't talk about right now, but no, I'm a big country fan. But anyway, we got a lot of postmodern, alternative, and punky stuff this week. It's just kind of how it worked out. And still, Felicia, every damn week I walk in these studios and think, this is it. There's no way we'll be able to create the magic we created last week. And guess what? It freaking happened again. What an insanely talented lineup we have again this week. I scanned through some of the other indie programs and podcasts this week, and some of their music's pretty good, but and this is no slight to them because I appreciate their doing. I love anybody who supports indie music, but I just don't see these other programs and podcasts playing the quality of songs and artists we've collected in a few short weeks. And that's just my opinion. People can disagree with me if you want, but I'll tell you what, we're just hitting a nail on the head here, and it proves because we're in the top 10. And, maybe that'll happen to us someday, too. We'll start to downslide and get lazy. Nah, that's not in our DNA, is it?
No.
Nah, that's not going to happen. But anyway, I have to think that the world will never run out of great new indie music. Why? Because even I write a new song every week or two myself, and that in itself is a miracle. Yeah, you've heard a couple of them on this show, but you'll have to guess which band is mine. Here's a hint. It ain't half as good as everyone else's, you know what I mean? Yeah.
We've got a couple of replays from last week on our new replay feature. Who's it going to be? Well, you're going to have to hang out to find out. Here's a hint. They both are artists with the same exact first name. Weird, right?
How is that even possible? Did we set that up that way? No, we really didn't. It's kind of worked out like, wow. Our extensive algorithm without tequila. There was no tequila in the algorithm this week, so we can't blame it on that. So, Felicia, last week you challenged me to this 28 days of this Arbonne stuff. So, what exactly are we doing other than you starving me? And again, there's no tequila on this week's show, so see if you notice a difference. Hey, just want to mention I saw a guy from my past stream across my Facebook feed last week via our friend Jimmy Haber. His name's Alan Haber from Pure Pop Radio. I don't think they're related. I just noticed they have the same last name. I never thought to ask.
That's kind of interesting.
Maybe they are, huh? I don't think they're related. But anyway, I met Alan while I was in Virginia working for the television department of Time Life. And he did this radio program at Fairfax Public Access, and he had a training session before his Saturday shows for people who wanted to do radio. I had already done and retired from radio by then, but my coworkers were so shitty, I needed some warm faces, so I signed up for the heck of it. I was bored, And what a great guy and an interesting program. So I picked up a few tips from a seasoned industry veteran that helped me build my own voiceover business. So big thanks to Alan Haber at Pure Pop Radio for making my life a little more bearable during my 2 miserable years of life in Virginia.
That miserable? Really?
It was bad. I worked with a serious bunch of nasty people. We'll just leave it at that.
All right.
My last year I was there, I got promoted.
Oh,
So I was trying to get fired. I got promoted, actually. I got a raise and a big promotion to this senior manager position. And my last year was really good, but then the company ended up laying everybody off shortly after I left. So I left just in the nick of time. It all worked out. It was pretty cool.
Is that how you ended up here?
And that's how I ended up in Florida.
There you go.
Right. Yep. So all things work out for a reason, I guess. Let's get back to some music. What do we got?
All right. We got Carolyn Dare, who is a 17-year-old North Carolina, Nashville-based singer-songwriter and CMA member. She has been recognized by the Nashville Songwriters Association International as one to watch for being a songwriter on the rise. She's been featured by Taylor Guitars and is sponsored by, this is pretty cool, MAC Cosmetics. What? All that talent and looks, too. Uh-oh. The world better look out for her. Carolyn performs both acoustically and with her full band primarily in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Nashville. She showcases soothing vocals and songwriting skills in her debut EP, Me, which includes the self-penned or co-written tracks. She tapped Nashville recording artist Greg Bates to produce the project. Carolyn does some really cool things. She's involved with a lot of charitable events, including, this is really cool, Tune for Tots, March of Dimes, and her local children's hospital and humane society.
It's cool. She's giving back. It's really cool.
It is really neat. Check out the song called Fake. The artist is Carolyn Dare, and this is IOL.
You act so tough, but I hear it's talk. I've never seen you throw your fist up. You walk around like you own the place, but daddy's money only buys you mistakes. Now I'm not trying to treat you like you treated me, 'cause I'm not shallow.
are tuned to the hottest indie music source in the entire world. This is Indie Originals Live, IOL. With your host, legendary DJ and performance artist, Chuck Fresh. You too can hear your own original music here on IOL. Visit our website for details, indieoriginals.com, or swing by our Facebook page at Indie Originals.
Better known as Moho, these peeps are Houston's heavy-hitting indie folk for your brain buzz. Quote, a unique mix of classic folk musicianship with a razor-sharp modern edge. Motion Hotel is a fresh and unique take on modern indie and indie rock, coupled with flawless traditional folk harmony. Now, don't be scared away. It's pretty cool. In a world increasingly filled with computers replacing skill, Motion Hotel aims to put the music back into musicianship. Years of performing and honing a unique sound that is easy on the ear for all types of listeners. Their first release, From the Lambden, came in 2017, and after only a year in action, Motion Hotel embarked on their first successful national headlining tour across the South and Midwest. Since returning, they're working on new fresh material, and they plan to be on the road touring nationally again as soon as possible. So out of Houston, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, here's Andrew on guitar and vocals, Austin on guitars, vocals, and assorted stuff, Angelica on vocals, and John on drums and percussion, and let's not forget about Nico on bass. They're Moho. That's Motion Hotel. Get it? Moho. And this is Recognition on IOL.
Everything alive.
is IOL.
Bad Moves is four friends making upbeat power pop about anxiety and identity, drawing on a sound that stretches from the Nerves and Cheap Trick to contemporary artists like Sheer Mag and Haim. After years knocking around the DC punk scene in bands of their own, guitarist Katie Park and David Combs, bassist Emma Cleveland, and drummer Dowd Tyler Amin began playing together in 2015 with a few goals in mind. Songwriting would be collaborative, singing would be everyone's job, and arrangements would be generously staggered, blending voices and ideas to avoid centering around any one member.
Wow. That's a generous kind of guy. That would never work in my band. On its self-titled 2016 EP, the band explored bleak adulthood, writing about bad jobs, corrupt leaders, frustrated dreams, and gentrifying cities. Tours of the U.S. and U.K. with friends Jeff Rosenstock, Martha, Nana Grizzle, and the Spook School, I like that name, brought a widening fan base and a sharpening sound with new material that dug into the wilderness of childhood and how its lessons ripple out later in life. It's so deep, man. As the anticipation grew for a full-length album, the band made a breakthrough appearance on the Cartoon Network's Craig of the Creek, voicing their animated selves in an episode about the show's lead characters putting on their first DIY concert. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it's really cool.
I mean, who gets to get animated, especially on a major network? That's cool. Pretty sweet. Tell No One, released in September 2018 on Don Giovanni Records, is Bad Moves' debut LP. 12 songs about confronting old secrets and stumbling into self-discovery, wrapped in a sound that Hometown Weekly Washington paper calls exuberant catharsis, the type of pop that makes you breathe deep and shout. So check it out. We think you'll dig this one. I hear a little prime vintage Go-Go's in this track. Let me know if you do too. That's a good thing. Here's One Thing by Bad Moves on IOL.
Found it. The hottest source for all new original music you haven't heard anywhere else. This is Indie Originals Live, IOL, with your host Chuck Fresh. We'll be back with more killer tunes right after these short words.
Hey, Chuck, I just wanted to thank you for being so awesome.
Uh-oh. I mean, I know, right? But no, uh-oh. Uh-oh is better. So what did I do this time?
Well, together we've made a commitment to ourselves and to each other. You know how? By taking the Arbonne 30-Day to Healthy Living Challenge.
Remind me again why I decided to agree to do this.
Well, your body works as a system where every function is connected, and diet and nutrition play a large role in how you feel both inside and out.
Large is the key role there.
But in addition to all that, Arbonne's nutrition products are plant-powered with extracts formulated with non-GMO ingredients, which is a big thing for you and I that we've actually researched in the past.
Yep.
Without dairy, soy, nuts, common allergens, and artificial flavors, colors, and sweeteners.
Wow.
So I personally have tried this challenge before on my own with my family around, eating chips, donuts, ice cream, Chuck.
Nice support system there.
But I never once made it past 5 days. But this time I'm serious about it and I feel committed to succeeding. And the best part is you've joined me on this journey.
Yay, me. Hey, how long's it been now?
It's been 5 days.
Has it been 5 days?
It has been.
We're
on our
not going to make
sixth,
it today,
actually.
are we?
We are going to make it today.
So why don't you tell these good people how it works? I mean, what we have to go through I'd explain it, but I'm going to be a lot more negative.
Well, your day starts off by drinking something called Digestion Plus, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. So this contains your prebiotics, your probiotics, and your enzymes that help support your digestive health.
It's kind of like taking a shot of tequila, only different. Not really.
We do actually serve it in a 2-ounce shot glass sometimes, don't we?
You do. Yeah, it doesn't taste awful. It really doesn't have much of a taste to it. That's not awful.
All right, so then once you finish that, a little while later when you're ready for breakfast, you drink a protein shake that's got added fiber. You can mix the shake with water or, say, almond milk and add fruit if you want. And it kind of, to me, tastes like chocolate milk.
It does. It's not bad at all.
No. So you're supposed to have 2 of those shakes a day. You can either have the second one for lunch or for dinner. It's your choice. But whether you have it for lunch or for dinner, the other meal that you have to have, the third meal, is supposed to be a clean meal, meaning that half of your plate is green veggies, a quarter of your plate is lean protein, and a quarter is good carbs, such as brown rice or maybe quinoa.
So you can have carbs.
You can.
Wow,
You can.
nice.
Healthy carbs. You can also have snacks mid-morning and maybe mid-afternoon, stuff like nuts, seeds, hard-boiled eggs, veggies, to help get you through the day. And in addition to all that, you can have what is called a fizz stick for energy. Helps get you going. And you also need to have 2 detox teas, one in the morning and one in the evening after dinner.
I'm fizzing and detoxing right now.
You are.
I'll tell you what, those hard-boiled eggs are saving me. We had to get organic. It's range-free,
Cage-free,
antibiotic,
yep.
whatever it is. Yeah, but yeah, I get a little hungry in the morning. I get up at 2 in the morning for various reasons. And, by the time noon rolls around, I've been up for 10 hours.
That is true. I kind of forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I'm starving, so I have a couple of hard-boiled eggs, and I'm pretty much set till dinner. So, I mean, the whole thing, actually, it's pretty easy. I weighed myself the day we started, and I'm supposed to do that once a week, right?
Right?
And I got to say, after only 5 days, the results are already showing. I've dropped, I think, 4 pounds, and I lost about an inch on my waist because my pants are actually loose. It's weird. I mean, I think it works.
I think it really does, too. I feel exactly the same way.
It's weird.
Yep.
So we're only 5 days into it, and we will update you right here on this program as we go along. If you're interested in learning more, what's the stuff called?
Arbonne.
And where do we find out more about this?
We are going to put a link to it on our IOL Facebook page and our website.
Sweet. So you can pick it up and just click through the thing. It'll take you right to their website?
Yep.
No hard pressure sales. Nobody's going to call you?
No, absolutely not.
That's sweet. Oh,
And if
cool.
you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to Chuck or I.
That's right. Check us out, indieoriginals.com or our Facebook page at Indie Originals. Or what about Instagram? Anything on Instagram?
Yeah, there actually is something on Instagram.
Original Indies?
Yeah.
We'll post our stuff there. Maybe we'll put some pictures out there, too.
Okay. You got any before and afters you want to share?
I don't, and I should probably take one now before it goes on. I should have taken one a week ago, but I didn't.
Yeah, we both should have. We didn't.
Yeah, we'll take one this weekend. All right, that's Arbonne, a proud, unofficial sponsor of Indie Originals Live.
This is your president speaking. Chuck Fresh is a man after my own heart. He's not afraid to grab him by the, well, you know what I mean. I hated his old show, Local Beat Live. The worst. Terrible. But this show, Indie Originals Live, it's tremendous. The best. When I'm not golfing or tweeting from the toilet, my senior staffers will find me holed up in a closet listening to Indie Originals Live. And that Felicia, beautiful, tremendous. Listen to Indie Originals Live every week. Or you may be investigated by the FBI. Just kidding. Fake news. Thank you.
Creating beautiful and emotional moments is Whale City's biggest goal when writing music and performing live. Spherical guitar sounds, pulsating bass lines, driving drum beats combined with analog and futuristic synths form the organic foundation of their energetic alternative pop sound. It's not just energetic. Whale City's sound is epic. They remind me of ABC in their heyday, updated to today's feel and sound. When you hear this next song, you can't help but smile.
I'm already smiling, Felicia.
Get ready to hit that replay button. From somewhere in Germany, Whale City is Jury on drums, ex-footballer Andy on vocals and guitar.
Hang on, there's a story there. There was a big magazine write-up in German, and I didn't have a chance to translate it. We didn't have time for the show, but apparently he was a big deal. You know, footballer here in America is soccer over there in Europe. So he was probably a big deal on one of those soccer teams, and hopefully we'll find out more about that.
Might have to reach out and talk to them.
Yeah, so there's a story there.
And finally, Michael on keyboard and bass, with all three lending their voices to form this magical, harmonious journey they've called Echo of Joy by Whale City on IOL.
is not a silent sound.
And I wanted to make sure that you tell everyone you know that they should be listening to this radio program. Indie Originals Live is the finest radio program in the history of radio. And I know these things. I've been around a long time. I'm about 120 years old. That's a true story. Look, when I was at the height of my movie career, Chuck Fresh was already picking the best music in the world. I have a lot of faith in this guy, and you should too. This is Indie Originals Live, featuring Chuck Fresh and Felicia.
Raphael Bremont, Pacific June, Juno Fab are all from Napoli, Italy. Starframes formed in 2004 in Naples, and during their first years, the band published some power pop and modern garage tracks and played all over southern Italy. In June 2009, their debut album, Street Politics, was released on the independent English label Mile High Music. And John Astley, who you may have heard worked for such artists as The Who, Eric Clapton, and George Harrison, you know, a couple of nobodies, worked on the mastering session. So that's some heavyweight talent right there. The album was a combination between modern indie music and classic British rock. Kind of an interesting little twist there. In 2010, Starframes completed their second album, Ethereal Underground. A slight shift of gears here is that album was more neo-psychedelic atmospheres. Their third album, Nicht Vergessen, excuse me if I trash that, my German's terrible, took almost 3 years to be completed. Nicht Vergessen is set to be released in, actually this fall. In the meantime, here's the latest single from Italy's Starframes called Rising Wall on IOL.
Originals. Replay.
From Atlanta, Georgia, Emily-Hackett pulls emotions into her music. She has the soul of a fiery artist ready to light up the stage, but she always stays honest to her southern roots. Emily says, if I can't be honest with someone to their face or myself in a relationship, it will always come out in a song. Somehow, I'm slipping into Casey Kasem here. Somehow, it's there that I have the bravery to admit it. That's what Taylor Swift does, doesn't she?
It does. Sounds
kind of
like
writes
her.
about her relationships post-mortem. Anyway, Emily's all over the map. She's been featured on BuzzFeed. She's won Best Coffee House Cover of 2013 on SiriusXM and reached the final round of Best Royals Covers on Ryan Seacrest. Emily also won Belk's Modern Southern Music Showcase, where she played tour dates with Lady Antebellum, Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, and Rascal Flatts. Impressive, right? Her duet with Parachute frontman Will Anderson, Take My Hand, the wedding song, hit the number 4 spot on the iTunes singer-songwriter chart. So she's out there. So no doubt Emily-Hackett has found her place in this world. And I'm telling you right now, on the record, is on a big stage in front of a crap ton of people. Check out the video for this next song on YouTube and see for yourself. I know it when I see it, and Emily's totally got it. That's why this is my IOL replay of the week. This is Good Intentions by Emily-Hackett on IOL.
I plan on stopping all the talking and knocking on the doors of boys who I know are better than me. Said I could shopping, dropping, bank on all the clothes and make you wanna buy me a drink. Said I could leave in my car, park behind the bar, but I got told the second time this week. I watched the ball drop on New Year's Eve. They drop the ball when it comes to me. Gonna get skinny this year, and I swear that I'll stop cursing. Gonna stop drinking this beer. Try to keep the lines from blurring. What I say, what I do, when I'm all talk, don't follow through. Well, you can't get rich making penny wishes. Can't get to heaven on good intentions. No, 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 good intentions. Nobody's perfect, no, but I plan on working on a version half as good as the girl next door. Will have you heard? I'm gonna save the world. I'll get started when I'm not so bored. Well, I've been telling myself that it's the thought that counts. So let me tell you what I'm thinking about. Gonna get skinny this year, and I swear that I'll stop cursing. Gonna stop drinking this beer. Try to keep the lines from blurring between what I say and what I do. When I'm all talk, don't follow through. Well, you can't get rich making penny wishes. Can't get to heaven on good intentions. Fix my condition, ditch the excuses I've been giving. All the bad decisions. Wanna get them out of my system. Fix my condition instead of just sitting here wishing. Gonna get skinny this year, and I swear that I'll stop cursing. Gonna stop drinking this beer. Try to keep the lines from blurring between what I say, what I do. When I'm all talk, don't follow through. Well, you can't get rich making penny wishes. No, can't get to heaven on good intentions. No, no, good intentions.
Hearing Emily Anderson sing and play is like stumbling into a rose garden in the Arctic because, well, she does live in Alaska.
Are there rose gardens in the Arctic? Because you lived in the Arctic.
I don't remember rose gardens, but I remember enormous vegetable gardens.
Really?
Yeah, huge.
Because of the nukes? I don't know.
No.
Or whatever that big telescope array that the conspiracy people talk about.
Sure. It's an unexpected surprise. You two will love her voice of untouchable purity and her remarkably witty and poignant lyrics. After many years of studying songwriting and the music business in Boston, and with several tours and recording projects under her belt, Emily has returned to her native Fairbanks. It's cold up there. And risen to prominence. Sometimes you got to leave home to come back and own it. My replay this week, Hold Me, is sure to warm your heart and soul like only someone from Alaska could.
Wait, Felicia, you're from Alaska.
I'm not from Alaska, but I did live in Alaska.
You're from Alaska.
Okay,
You live
sure.
there, you're from
Yes.
Alaska. So,
okay,
yeah,
sure.
you warm people's hearts too, don't
Oh,
you?
yeah. I'm totally an Eskimo
That's so
here.
cool.
Here's Hold Me by Emily Anderson on IOL.
I've been scared of letting go, scared of saying no, scared of leaving. I've been trying to find my way, searching for a name I believe in. And everybody talks too much. And I don't know what I want, don't know what I want. I just wanna be enough. I just wanna be enough. So hold me, hold me.
are tuned to the hottest indie music source in the entire world. This is Indie Originals Live, IOL. With your host, legendary DJ and performance artist, Chuck Fresh. You too can hear your own original music here on IOL. Visit our website for details, indieoriginals.com, or swing by our Facebook page at Indie Originals.
The next band says they're a band formed around evolution. Quote, I was bored of hearing the same old guitar sounds, so I sought to create new ones. I got tired of waiting for the perfect drummer to come along, so I tried to reimagine what a drummer can be. This is a band born out of hard work, help from some good friends, and the need to build something bold. Big Time Kill is where passion and technology meet. Adam is lead vocals, does programming, plays guitar, and handles production. Ben is on vocals, also does programming, and plays guitar. This is Body Talk by Big Time Kill on IOL.
This is Earl Jones. You may have heard me on a documentary talking about Earth, or perhaps you've witnessed my masterful impersonation of Darth Vader. I wholeheartedly recommend this radio broadcast, Indie Originals. I honestly don't know much about Chuck Fresh, but what I can tell you, the Force is strong with this one.
Madison-Mueller, Young Adult Artist of the Year at the 2018 Josie Music Awards, is an 18-year-old singer-songwriter and multi-instrumentalist from Barrie, Ontario, Canada. She's been playing and studying music for 12 years and started performing wherever possible since she was about 8. Over the years, performing developed into a love and a dream to make it her whole life. Madison has written and released 3 studio-produced singles and is looking to have an EP in the near future.
Madison was selected as a feature performer at the 22nd Millennium Music Conference in Pennsylvania, your old stomping grounds. Her song, Breath of Air, had been selected to be on their compilation CD, which goes out to all attendees and then to all record companies. Madison just received 4 nominations for the Josie Music Awards in Nashville.
Dang.
That's the largest indie awards show in the world.
We need to be there next
We
year,
need to
Felicia.
check that out.
For sure.
She was also invited to Nashville to attend a songwriting retreat to write with some amazing artists.
Madison offers up her time for local charities supporting mainly youth programs and is also a, get this, competitive baseball pitcher. I said baseball, not softball. It's kind of rare to have a woman baseball pitcher.
That is
it really
rare.
cool? I think it's really cool. I totally support that. We found a well-needed breath of air in this next song by Madison-Mueller on IOL.
I don't know why I just happen to think a little more when the sun fades and the clouds they pour. And I don't know why I just happen to stay awake at night when it's cold out and the bugs they bite and the creatures that I hear while they whisper in my ear. All the good things becoming clear, and I start to contemplate all the stuff that's in my way. How to choose which battles to lose. I'm afraid. Breath of air,
Light Scene Factory is an indie dance music duo from Detroit, Michigan, comprised of Taylor Reynolds and Noah Warnack. After collaborating on various music endeavors, the pair decided to explore new musical territories and develop what is known as Light Scene Factory in a desire for something different.
Their debut self-titled home-recorded album came into being naturally through a shared love for many styles of music, but in particular dance, bossa nova, electronic pop, and psychedelia. Right? Heavy grooves, catchy melodies, and wide varieties of instrumentation come together to take the listeners for a total trip.
This album is intended to be listened to from start to finish as it goes through several subgenres while trying to stay true to its dance party style. Listen with friends in that perfect situation and see where Light Scene Factory takes you. Here's Runaway by Light Scene Factory on IOL.
are tuned to the hottest indie music source in the entire world. This is Indie Originals Live. With your host, legendary DJ and performance artist, Chuck Fresh.
All the members of creux-lies used to be part of a support group for people with the sixth sense. Yeah, that's sixth sense. Now they spend their days lounging in Sacramento, California, along with ghosts and other ultra-dimensional beings. Just playing music together and getting cozy. Spooky, right? That's funny because we are actually ghost hunters. A lot of people don't know about this. We actually have a ghost hunting channel. We should post that on our page just in case people are curious.
I think I want to go out and see these people.
I know, it's pretty cool, right? I mean, it's weird, but it's fun. Yeah, we don't take it totally seriously, but some people do. Yeah, we found some interesting stuff, too. We'll post that video on our Facebook page and kind of get an idea of what we do.
Our new one?
On this, yeah, the place in Key West.
Yeah.
Known for reverb-laden guitar work, creative synth structures, and dynamic vocals akin to the style of many early shades of 80s pop darkness. We're talking like Depeche Mode and Tears for Fears. creux-lies are known as an alternative post-punk new romantic-esque project from Southern California. As a lot of our bands are this week. Somehow it just worked out this way. Created out of the band formerly known as, I'm going to try to say this, it's NMBRSTTN. Numbers, singer Ian Clevenger, guitarist Barry Kreider, synth electronics wizard David Wright, and drummer Topher Snyder, and bassist Kyle Vorst, I always forget the bassist, have focused their creative vision toward a new path of electro-drenched, melancholy sonic styling. I had to say that 8 times, Felicia.
In late 2017, creux-lies completed their first full-length, recorded at the creative fantasy land known as Earth Tone Studios under the creative care of producer and engineer extraordinaire Patrick Hills.
Thank you for pitching in there. I was having some problems. Sharing stages with a roster of notable acts such as Clan of Zymox, Drab Majesty, Soft Kill, and others. I had to read that in my announcer voice. It just felt right. You know what I mean? Like Clan of Zymox. Has encouraged creux-lies to develop their own headlining performance antics, including powerful performances in step with a dramatic visual light experience. We got to catch these guys. Sounds like a great show. Catch them playing in your city soon. Anyway, right now, open your eardrums, because here's Portals by creux-lies on IOL.
This is IOL.
This band is so fresh. They don't even have a bio, man. They're that fresh, you know what I mean? There's nothing. They're ghosts. We get a lot of that on the show, though, because we try to premiere people first before anybody else does. That's why we're number one, bro. The Doctors are apparently doing the shoegaze thing. Do you know what shoegaze is, Felicia?
I don't. What
I didn't either. I had to look it up. And check it out. It's on Wikipedia. Initially known as dream pop, shoegaze is a subgenre of indie and alternative rock that emerged in the UK in the late 80s. So it's been around for quite a while. I don't know why I've never heard of it. Basically, shoegazing was named after a band's motionless performing style where they just stood on the stage and stared straight down while they played. They gazed at their shoes, Felicia. Shoegaze, get it?
Okay, I got it
You
now.
don't know? Anyway. Yeah. Oh, okay. It was more, I thought it was something deeper than that, but they're actually staring. It was more literal than I hoped it was. Anyway, its sound is characterized by an ethereal mixture of obscured vocals, guitar distortion and effects, feedback, and overwhelming volume. Back in the day, we just called that a bad mix, but today they're doing it on purpose, Felicia. Who knows? Hey, whatever they're doing, it works. And was it shoegaze or is it shoegaze?
Oh, gosh.
Like shoegaze? Get it? I'm going to rebrand shoegaze to shoegaze. It sounds so much cooler if you say shoegazi. There's actually a term called shoegazing, so you'd have to say shoegazying, and that would just destroy Europe. They'd implode. The Doctors have, what were we talking about? The Doctors just released their debut EP, And I Slip Away, and it's now out across all streaming platforms. So check out Joe Culpepper on drums, Jonathan Joubert on vocals and synth, Jacob Lewis on bass, and Michael Taylor on guitar. See, I didn't forget the bassist this time. The band is The Doctors. The track is called Slip. It's shoegaze, bro. And this is IOL.
are tuned to the hottest indie music source in the entire world. This is Indie Originals Live. With your host, legendary DJ and performance artist, Chuck Fresh.
As we wind down this week's IOL 6, we wanted to say a big thank you to all of the podcast listeners who keep pushing this show down people's throats and into the top 10 on iTunes. So thank you, man. That's like huge honor, considering we're a pretty new show. So please continue to like, listen, share, comment to keep us up at the top, man. It's cool to be at top. We're looking for show sponsors, too, so if you know anybody who wants to ride this wave with us, man, number one, drop us a line at indieoriginals.com or hit us up at Indie Originals on Facebook, Instagram, or everywhere else we are.
All right, so Andy Dean is a modern Renaissance man. Having found success as a musician, a horror author, and most recently as a photographer, he studied, right? He's multi-talented.
He is.
He studied voice training with a teacher specializing in, check this out, opera for many years. And he continues to learn on the job. He has toured the U.S. extensively and found his way all the way over to Europe and the U.K. on several occasions with his goth rock band Bella Morte. The Rain Within is his latest musical conquest.
He grew up loving the horror movies and romantic comedies of the 80s. He admits he liked the romantic comedies. He is a Renaissance man. He could watch Michael Myers taking out promiscuous teens for 90 minutes and then just shift gears to find out who Molly Ringwald was going to choose to be with at the school dance. Anyway, there was an inspiration to be found at both ends of the spectrum, the horrific and the beautiful, the tragic and the hopeful. Either way, a great soundtrack was one thing that could put a film over the top, and I still agree with that. I'm actually working on a soundtrack for a movie right now. I can't tell you a whole lot about it. We'll come up on the show a little bit later. This dichotomy shapes the Rain Within sound in many ways. The cold synthesizers of John Carpenter and Vangelis, colliding with the soulful, catchy pop structures of the Psych Furs and Depeche Mode. Dance beats pound a path to the future as heartfelt lyrics draw the listeners back with nostalgic words of love and loss.
After two successful self-released EPs, The Rain Within met up with Negative Gain Productions at a performance in Los Angeles on their first U.S. tour. A bond was quickly formed, and from it, Dark Drive was born. This ambitious release was written to move you, physically and spiritually, and brings a bridge between the new wave sound of the 80s and today's audience.
Out of Charlottesville, Virginia, ladies and gentlemen, here's Andy Dean taking you out with his project, The Rain Within. The song is called Like the Devil, and this is IOL.
there, smiling like the devil. There is no forever, every tie is severed, and she's still standing there, smiling like the devil.
Indie Originals Live. This is IOL.